All right. And nobody else has signed in, right? We'll know if somebody signs in.
Correct. I turned it on so it'll make a noise if
Okay.
somebody is wanting to be
Right.
admitted.
Okay, welcome everyone, the April 27th meeting of the Canada Planning Board. Holly, call the roll, please.
Chairman Mayhood.
Here.
Mr. Craig.
Here.
Ms. Nestro.
Here.
Mr. Winterman.
Here.
Ms. McDonough.
Here.
Mr. Youthy.
Here.
Vice Chair McCumsky.
Here.
And Ms. Hopkins.
She usually comes in at the last minute. I didn't hear from her, so. Thank you. Stand and salute the flag, please. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, we have two applications we'll be looking at later in the meeting. Adam, the applicant for the second one, was here and I told him it'd probably be about 7:40 or so, so he'll be coming back when we get ready to review his application. So the agenda says it's a public hearing for these two, but what we do in practice is when we get to the application, we open the public hearing and we move through the process that way. So first thing is the privilege of the floor. Is there anything that anyone would like to share that's on the agenda? Another opportunity at the end of the meeting. I'll share, we have a timber harvest application for Batesels on Canvas Hill Road. If anyone's interested, they're cutting down trees. 174 trees they'll be cutting down, and they'll be, the harvest time is expected start at May 1st, expected completion by October 1st. So I have the maps, etc. if anybody wants to look at them.
I just want to say.
Okay. And it's been prepared by a licensed forester, so they're exempt from site plan review. So we don't have to do an approval on that timber harvest because they use a registered forester to prepare the plan. So given that, we'll move to approval of the minutes from the March 23rd meeting. Anyone have any corrections?
I think where it says present, I think when you were here, but I don't think it has you just to do it.
Right. Yeah, that's one thing I thought. So Vice Chairman McCumsky was present.
Was present.
And the other thing, and then the other thing is you have Mr. Youthy and Miss Hopkins were excused. It was just Miss Hopkins. Mr. Youthy was present. So Mr. Youthy was present and Vice Chairman McCumsky was present. You didn't list her name. Okay. Anything else? All right, I have approval to a motion to approve the minutes. As amended. We approve.
Oh, second.
All in favor? Opposed? Thank you.
Is that Birch?
Birch and Caitlin.
Yes.
So we'll go into the normal reports. Town board met April 13th. First thing was, they had a privilege of the floor. Folks from the Ontario County Public Works came and described the road construction project. This is a project for 2027 from the corner here down around the curve to Middle Road. I'm not sure if it's ends at Middle Road or just past it. They're going to be digging it up, putting in new bays, changing the way the waste, the stormwater is handled. Now a lot of it goes over on the properties over there. They're going to have it engineered so that it comes back to this side of the road, down, and then it's going to empty in where it empties today, which is basically on Dale Schaefer's property. It's kind of turns into a wetland there. So the outlet of all of that stormwater will be the same. But they're changing the slope of the road and putting new surface on it. The other thing they're planning to do is to change the intersection where Birch Hill joins County Road 37. Now we have that V. Their statement was that best practices from New York State is to get rid of those kinds of intersections and make them all perpendicular. So the plan is they'll come north, and rather than coming straight, they'll curve so that it actually comes out on 37 perpendicular. There were a lot of people here and a lot of people were opposed to that.
Yeah.
And
It would bring it to
The
a
en-
stop sign, right?
yeah, they'll have a stop sign, but the engineer said that these kinds of things prevent accidents. Well,
Yeah.
they asked how many accidents have been reported there, and 0 accidents in like 25 years at that intersection.
Well, since 1964, I think.
Was it 60? Okay, longer, so.
Zero.
Yeah,
And,
since they added the extension.
and one complainant was a resident that owns the house. You're gonna bring that road over, traffic will stop and there'll be shining lights into their house. Part of the project is they're gonna be taking down some of the trees that they have there protective right now. But they said they'd probably be able to put in some shielding, but they were unmoving. You know, the supervisor said, well, you know, that's a town road. And they said, yes, but it's a county project. And so they overruled. So that, there were a lot of people, they had a long discussion, they had detailed plans, but they're going ahead with it basically in 2027. I guess for the stormwater, pardon?
I find it a difficult intersection.
I don't know, I use it a lot. I
It's
like
like-
it. You guys, you can see back around the curve,
Yeah.
but two sides to all of that. But the big thing is to get the road reconditioned, to get the stormwater handled more efficiently. So that was their privilege of the floor. It took them quite a while.
And when will that be?
Pardon?
When will that be?
2027, they didn't have a timeline. Just one interesting thing in their communications, the HVA, Honeywell Valley Association, HVA, there's a group that monitors and helps things. They've established a Don Cook Memorial Scholarship. Don was very active over the years in both the town as well as HVA. And so they were asking for donations for that scholarship. So the town is going to donate $500 to that scholarship. Other than that, reports are pretty regular. Highway Department, as usual, had most of the things to say. They reported they'd had 129 snowplow and salt runs during the year. This season, and they normally average 80 to 90, so there's significant improvement. They reported on the landslide on Jersey Hill Road, which has caused the closure of that road. Early estimates say that they'll have a bid, have a plan and a bid on rebuilding that by the end of June. Sounds a little aggressive, but that's their plan. And the work is to start around September, and they plan 2 months. So, we're looking into this winter probably before that road's open again. And in the meantime, they opened Cratsley Hill early. It's normally not open until April 15th, but they opened. And they did post a no trucks on, I don't know what trucks would do if they get down there and see it. They'll probably go down the road. As you notice, they got the house next door down and cleaned up. They're engaging a high school intern for 2 weeks during the summer to help and to learn about highway management. The other thing is their trucks. They've got a big truck that they're waiting on, and they've got a pickup truck that they're waiting on. They have normal scheduled replacements on their trucks. That was the highway. Other than that, Nothing really significant. Yeah. Reauthorize the roadside mowing contract with Ontario County. Actually, I saw a town guy out today beginning to mow. Surprised. They appointed Chaz Miller to the Board of Assessment Review. That's a board that meets as needed. This time of the year, it will be. There'll be for people who want to challenge their assessments, they're allowed to, the residents are allowed to come in and present their case to the board. So it only meets as needed, but Chaz Miller's been appointed to that. Couple of sympathy cards, Joe Bott, Margaret Joe Bott. She's been involved in town politics and activities for years, most recently the historian. And Bob Best, our earlier CEO. So they had resolutions to extend sympathy cards to those folks. And that was it. Questions? Anyone's welcome to go to those meetings, by the way. The county planning, Birch?
Yeah, county planning, the CRC met on the 7th and the regular meeting on the 8th, and nothing to report that affects candidates at all. And those meetings are online if anyone wants to
Yeah.
attend.
Okay.
I don't, it's not Zoom, I
The
think.
CRC is the 7th, Bert?
WebEx. Yeah, it was the 7th and the regular was on the 8th. It's on WebEx.
Zoning board, we didn't get any, we did get one report back from them. One was, actually, we got two. One was for a variance for someone on the lake. Second one was a variance for Eric Brownell, who's going to talk about the need for that variance and how that worked out later on in this meeting. Those are online as well. Code enforcement, we have a monthly report. Questions, you can refer them to Joe. Joe's here tonight. Morning, Joe. Any questions for Joe? Okay, well, we'll move on then. Old business, we don't have any old business. Everything that we worked on has been brought up to date. So we'll move to the new business. And so the first item is a subdivision application. So what we're going to do is we're going to with a motion, we're going to open public hearing and a preliminary review of this application in one motion. So
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing as well as a preliminary review.
thank you.
I'll second it.
White, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. So, if you look at your, this, actually, the name is Pecora. Deb Pecora owns land. And Deb is not able to be with us tonight. So she has given us a notarized statement that Eric Brownell, Eric is on our zoning board of appeals, by the way. He's a He was an alternate, he's just been moved to a regular member, so Eric is acting as an agent for Deb. Yes. Okay, so she's the landowner that's going to subdivide property. Eric is on the receiving end of all of this. And so as we go through this, Eric knows all of the history and things. So I do have that notarized statement if anybody wants to see it.
He has family out in Syracuse, that's why sometimes she's always back and forth, so she wasn't. That's why. So then we stopped by and see Eileen the other day.
So the simplest thing is to pull out the survey map.
Of course.
You didn't get it?
I got a black and white and
I have a whole bunch of them.
I got an extra one.
No, I have them for everybody in town.
Want to make sure.
When did you get it?
One needs a cup.
The night I was putting the packets together, we read a rush. I couldn't get a color copy of it. Well, it's not, it's been a couple of years. Well, of course. Okay, so the application shows that Deb Pecora is a landowner. 9134 Lukenbach Road. Lukenbach Hill Road, Springwater, New York. Tax map number, her property is a 9.263, approximately 9.
Is that both of her
Wait, that's,
together?
Pardon?
No, I think we never changed that because we added everything together at first.
It's not.
It's not the full.
Yeah, on your map, the Pecora, she owns this property as well.
Yeah, 6.7.
It's a separate tax map.
Yeah, it's a separate map, so we had.
So when Eric and her put together this application, they put 9.2,
Yeah,
but the property is actually 6.7, so.
yeah.
I'm gonna correct it and have you
Okay.
initial it as a correction.
Okay, what
So-
appears to me to be Eric's property is listed as 9.263 acres. Is
Yes,
that where that number?
maybe that's where we put that in
Where
there.
was that?
Okay.
This was the wrong part of that.
Oh, that's Eric's property.
So is that like a typo? Is that like a
That's what.
typo? It should have been.
Okay, so on your
I was
map.
thinking I was adding to mine, that's why we originally.
So on your map, at the north end, there's a cabin here. This is Miss Pecora's property.
Yes.
This is someone else's, and this is Eric's property here.
Yep.
And this is Lukenbach Hill Road.
And then that one's a second piece of property out in front of hers that doesn't.
Which doesn't come
involve
into the
that.
picture. So that's where the 9.263
Yeah, that's
came
probably
from.
wrong. I don't know.
I'm gonna put this in 6.742 and you'll initial, it, okay?
Okay.
That's a typo.
Typo. Okay.
0.72.
6.742.
You read this one now or?
Oh, yeah, as well, right there. Just right, it's next to the name,
Yeah.
just your initials. And so the application on the second page, the description of the project is we're subdividing 0.203 acres away from Deb's property. It's going to be annexed to Eric's property. So. Yeah. Okay. I made that copy. He gave me this last minute. I made. it.
Yes, yeah. Because my
Okay.
pen ran out, we didn't finish it up there.
So if you notice, the red is Deb Pecora's property. So she owns this right of way lane. Okay, it's not paved, it's the access to the property. So, okay, it's not a private road. It's not a public road, it's a private lane. She has granted access, right of way access to these property owners to use the property as an ingress and egress, okay?
That,
So that's not changing. Go ahead.
right,
Right.
and that applies to her other parcel, the parcel that's across the street from Mr.
Yeah, anyone
Yeah.
that uses
Yeah,
that,
yeah. I mean,
she is granted,
I brought a copy of my official deed to it, shows in there like everybody
yeah.
is granted for the right of way.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
Egress
the,
and egress.
Yes.
that's the legal part of it, okay? So the business part of it is just down here around Eric's property. So a couple of things. The reason Eric is doing this is that he had a barn built. And the barn was built over the property line. So it was built into the right of way.
Okay.
Yes.
So his barn is in violation of that. And since he's going to be adding property to his property, it means we need to look at his existing property. And if you look carefully at his existing property, I did a blow up of that section to show the house, the barn. But what you notice is the well is not on his property.
Yeah, it's presently not on my property at all.
Well, excuse me,
Yeah.
it's on, it is on your property.
It's in the right of way right now. So it would be in my property if this was approved.
And then the well.
So right now it is not my
Yes.
property. That's why I had to go to the variance or the zoning board to get the variance for the new property.
For a setback.
For us.
Yes, because it's like, I mean, the surveyor hasn't officially put the pins in, but it's about 12, 13 feet-ish. It's supposed to be 20. So I got the variance approved. The well, there's a deed for that well from 1983 when they dug it. So it's never been on the property for 9130, my property. It's always been in that right of way, the well, since 83.
So we kind of have a
Yes,
chicken and egg thing here because zoning board can't give him a variance because he doesn't own the property. But the zoning board of appeals voted to grant the variance conditioned upon the planning board approval of the subdivision. So the bottom line is if we approve this subdivision, small portion of land, it will go to Eric. Eric's property will become conforming. It's better for the town. Okay, it's better for him. His new deed is going to have to show the right of way.
yes. I will have to give that
Okay.
the same as that.
So that will have to be written in your deed. And when you do that, you're going to have a new survey map that shows that right of way. This doesn't show the right of way because
Yeah,
it's not
right.
determined.
Jeremy's got to make all the final, if it's.
Okay, but that's after you get the deed. We're going to approve this, or we're considering it based upon what we know today.
Right,
And that is that there's no right of way. But she wants to grant the right of way. And the bottom line is nothing's going to change. Traffic's going to be able to go and come.
right.
Just the ownership changes.
The ownership changes and the width of the width of the driving lane that she owns is going to drop from 49 and a half to 30.
Okay, and that includes the hard surface driving
It's
area and.
property to property.
Ditch
Yeah.
on the
Right,
side.
so it includes every,
Take a look,
Yep.
just so I knew.
yeah, so everything is still
Yep.
travelable, you say, okay, by moving that property line. It's not
You can
changing.
kind of see a little
Not
bit
changing.
in the maps with telephone poles. So it actually goes past the telephone pole a bit on one side and covers the whole ditch and everything, stays
I would just-
everything on her property.
Caution you, Eric, when this gets done, make sure they're following this approved site, this approved subdivision.
Yeah,
Don't get in a situation where your contractor builds across the line or anything.
no,
Make sure,
I
you
didn't,
know.
I figured I paid somebody the first time to do all this, that I didn't have to deal with it, but this is now,
So,
I had it built in 2000, now here I am.
So that wasn't, there was a variance issued for the barn to be
Yes,
to be 1 foot away from the property.
right, but they violated it
Yes.
by going over the property line,
Right.
so that's kind of a.
and I got the certificate of occupancy with the variance
Right.
tied to it as
Right.
well. There'd be 12
So that's-
in the line, but it's
So
not.
that's what we're looking at. Everybody clear on that? We understand it, and we have any questions for Eric?
I have several questions.
Okay,
I don't see a septic listed anywhere on.
It's way out in the backyard. Where's that?
But you'll need to
I don't
show.
know why it doesn't.
The west of the
It's-
house, right?
If you look at the house. It's directly behind the house, the whole back
okay. So that needs to show up. That's a good catch.
for the final map, right?
Yeah, for Jeremy.
Yeah,
Right, this is a preliminary review, it's a preliminary map. So the septic needs to be shown on your property. And with distances, you know, where it is relative to property line. Good catch.
The barn,
yep,
does the old variance that said it was approved to be 12 foot from the property line still, is there a new variance because it's 20 feet?
Yes, the current is 20 feet and it's 12 inches. He got approved for 12 inches.
12
But
inches.
now we're moving the property. line.
Yeah, so it'll be like 15 feet,
It'll
so it
be,
still keeps me with the variance.
Yeah.
Because I'm able to go up to 12 inches away from the property line.
But
which
the
is the
property
right-
line, that was the old property line. The property line's moving, that still stays.
Yes, the variance stays, my understanding.
Even
That's
if
what
it-
Joe,
even
that's
if
the way he
property line
ruled on
moves.
that, even that, yeah.
That's how I was reading it.
I don't know. We've
I-
never had this.
So the
Right.
reason, I mean, it's kind of the same scenario with the well, because it's, now we're moving the property line. So he needed a variance for the well, but because there's an existing variance that puts him at 12 inches, that is a good question, but I don't think the code book answers that, because I went through the code book.
When we talked it over, we thought that the
Yeah.
existing variance, which allowed him to go 12 inches from the property line, would still be in effect. Unless we have some information.
Because it doesn't,
Old or the
From
new?
the old, well, it was from the old property line.
The new variance was for the well, the one that I just had.
But
Yeah, that was,
this is for the barn, the variance that you got for the barn placement.
How is the variance worded? I mean, if it's from the property line, it would have to be referring to what the existing.
What it was
property-
at the time. Yeah.
So a new property line doesn't mean 12 inches from that.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, ideally, you,
Joe
Wow.
knows the code better than I do.
Yeah,
So, and you as well, Ted, but to me, the variance was 12 inches from the existing property line. If we're moving the property line, it doesn't seem like the old variance would still be in effect.
well, the variance always stays with the property no matter what, so,
but it states from the property line.
correct. It,
So if you move the
Doesn't-
property line, that moves the variance.
right,
So he theoretically could build 12 inches from
yeah.
the new property.
Yeah, that's true.
right.
If I was a property owner, I would want a new variance, just to CYA.
So is
Could we
it,
do a variance modification? Is there such?
how far is the barn gonna be? How far
About
would you?
the-
how far is-
15.8.
It shows 15.8.
Yeah.
From the new property line.
Okay, and that would,
It's
if you built a
still-
new, if you built a new barn, it wouldn't be allowed. I mean, without the variance, you couldn't go that.
No,
close.
it'd have to be 20 feet.
But we're also making the lot more conforming.
Right, that's the balancing part of it.
Mhm.
So I
would wanna see that old variance rescinded and the new variance. Saying 15 point,
Well, the variance would be 4.2 feet.
15.8.
15.8.
It's going to be 15, but the variance itself would be
I'd be asking
20,
for
20,
Right.
20 minus that,
Yeah.
Okay,
right?
yep.
Understood.
So we're trying to give you a bigger variance.
Well,
It's just,
No, we're trying to make it so you can't play games later.
yeah,
right, right.
but to reflect what the new property line must be.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it was 12 inches from the existing property line. If the property line was moving,
Yeah.
if I was a property owner, I would want an updated variance.
Well, we're not doing it just for the existing property owner, we're doing it for forever,
For future.
because it goes.
Stays with the property.
Yeah, the variance stays with the property. But in this case,
But I would think a property owner could ask for that change,
back
Do
to
we
the
have
zoning
a
board.
cut? So when did you do the initial variance?
I can go.
Yeah, we might have,
Let's take a quick peek at it. If you have it handy, Joe,
uh,
might answer all our questions one
Yeah, I
way or
think
the
there-
other.
There's something there, but I don't think I had all the stuff that Joe had.
What year did you build the barn?
2000.
Seems like yesterday, but.
26 years ago.
Or no, it was 2020, not
Oh,
2026 years ago.
Okay, that was yesterday.
yeah.
I don't have it.
But the existing.
Okay, I have the notice, but it didn't have any detail. It just.
Yeah, I think Joe had the rest.
Just said it, in the variance.
Where's your well?
It's in the
So the variance could have a map.
That's the well, so that dotted line is the line,
Right.
the property line that is right now.
If the map
Yeah.
shows
And then the
that
red
property
would be the
line.
new line, so it's straight all the way
Which it
across,
would,
see the
that
well.
would be what the variance is for.
Yeah, that little dot right there is the well.
I would think, I'm not a legal expert.
That's strange.
Like this selling.
I'm assuming they couldn't get a truck in the backyard because it's so, such a, you gotta be half Billy Goat to live out.
But we obviously can't modify a variance,
Correct.
Correct.
but you know, we do have other options. We can waive certain things if we, depending on how significant we think this issue is. Or let's say, you know, the property line has changed so that old variance is void.
Unless it shows on the map.
Which map?
The map at the time that variance was given.
Right.
And like I said, all they gave us was a
Right.
one sheet with
There's
no,
gotta be
no
more-
information. on
There's
it.
gotta be more to that file.
Yeah, I think Joe's digging for it, you know.
And I think this, and I'll be interested in Joe's opinion, but I'll ask my, I think, final question.
Yeah, go-
So there's currently an easement on this property that is deeded to other property owners besides Deb
Laura.
Yeah.
and, I'm sorry, what's your name? Eric.
Eric. Oh, Eric.
Besides Deb and Eric.
Right.
Now, can we modify this property line if there's already an easement deeded to other property owners?
The easement is for ingress and egress for travel over that area, and ownership of that shouldn't,
Unless
as long as.
it specifies that you might say a 25-foot easement. And we're changing it. I don't know, what is it now?
It's 49 and a half.
So it's 49.5, so if the easement is written. That you get a 49.5
You have a copy of that?
laneway,
Mhm.
you
The
can't.
Yeah.
easement language?
Yeah, this is my original deed here. You guys wanna look at it?
The only
And
portion,
there's
the
a spot.
only portion of the property that is being affected is the property that's transversing his lot. Doesn't affect the other landowners.
Well,
But they have a deeded
They have to-
easement.
they have a deeded access.
Right, the other parcels that have access now, permission from Deb, would need permission from Eric.
Yeah, so my deed would have to
Right.
change, giving them.
Right.
Me
Yeah.
giving
When he
them.
gets a new deed, it'll
Yeah.
have to include
Unless-
easement.
But yeah, but my point is, if the existing easement for these property owners actually specifies the width of the laneway.
That's changing.
So I have an easement on our property, it says 25 feet.
Mhm.
So if I was to sell part of my property and I couldn't say, well, you still got 15 feet. No, I've got.
But the other
25.
10,
Levi's
when you
20.
transfer that, you would have to also transfer the obligation of that easement to a new owner.
So. Without digging further, I think you guys probably have what I have.
All we have is this, it says
It just.
it was granted, but
Yeah,
no
it was
information.
So I would have to go into the minutes from the zoning board.
Okay, so
But there might be some information in here. This is the original permit, certificate of compliance.
So on Eric's deed,
Can you catch Joe up to what our side conversation?
okay. The issue is. Cora has given an easement to adjacent property owners. For a laneway to go through. And according to Eric's deed. It's 49.5 feet wide. Now we're, by doing this, we're reducing that width.
No, I don't think so, because the
I still have to
49 and a half feet remains. It's just some of it's under one ownership, some of it's under another ownership.
Okay,
That's the way I look at
Yeah.
it too.
Is it that we'll have to reflect
That's the way I look at it. So I thought.
So it'll be worded similar to what's in there now, but I have to give everybody else the same right of the.
So they'll still be driving over your well and you'll still be driving next to your barn.
Right.
And,
I actually brought it,
and this doesn't specify that there's a single owner. It just says together with a right of way for highway purposes across a strip of land 49.5 feet wide, extending northerly from Lukenbach Hill Road along the easterly side of lands herein conveyed. Also is set forth on said survey map.
And that's how that's how all the property owner surveys say. The only one that's gonna have to change is Eric's.
The new deed is gonna have to
That
reflect
makes-
that same.
That's what I did.
That makes sense.
Some of the people didn't get to see it, so I.
Yeah.
And
Just now, that's the block where we're kind of by, or kind of subdivided.
And Deb's deed will change, but it doesn't really pertain to. It's gonna change because it's gonna take the well off of.
Right, her deed will change.
Well access for this property.
Right.
Yeah, this original deed will go away from 1983 for the well. This is the deed for my well.
So the way I see it, we need to answer the question of, is there a variance required?
So this says 2 feet from easement line. 30 feet from center of private drive.
That's,
It's good, right? There's a 21 inches in.
teeth.
This is
Two feet.
What document is that?
the plot diagram.
Well, that's
survey
good.
map.
Okay, yeah,
Oh, that's it, yeah.
Easement line is good.
This
Oh,
is not
yeah.
a binding document, is what you're saying?
It is, it would be tough, but it has to be an actual stamped survey. I'll have to dive into the minutes from the zoning board.
What's meant by the middle? What was that phrase, the middle of,
Middle.
is that the middle of the,
Middle of-
2 feet from easement line, 30 feet from center of private drive.
okay, so center of private drive to me says the surface, the travel surface that exists.
Well, 49 and a half.
No, it's,
Divided by 2.
it's specified as 49 and a
Yeah,
half.
Yeah, so I don't, 30, I don't remember the 30 foot from the.
Yes, it's 30 feet left after the subdivision.
So because there isn't a survey map, this may not be binding.
Well, but that's what the zoning board used.
That I have to find something from the zoning meeting that defines what he was asking for, because that says 2 foot, he's saying 1 foot, and the actual.
We're still not in compliance anyway.
That's who I.
Right, the variance answer
Yeah.
isn't definitive here. What I'm
It's
saying,
not a clear, it's all right, I
Right.
agree.
but it's still not in compliance, it won't be in compliance.
I don't know, is that a question like we need to ask our town attorney about as well? Maybe once we pull those notes, if there's still a question, I think it might be worth,
Is that
Getting
the
your
new
hand.
practice is to have a survey map or?
No, but when it's close, see this is my opinion here, if Eric would have been told by the code enforcer that he needed a as-built survey
Yeah,
that had a definitive measurement, then the code enforcer would have never gave him the certificate of compliance and he would have had to move it. Or, when he's doing his inspections, he goes out before they have the structure built and he measures.
Yeah,
He would
that's, I
he
think
would
that's
have.
that's probably started, because if you don't have an accurate idea where you're gonna put those posts in to build the barn, oh yeah, it looks good to me.
He came out with a string line
Yeah.
and measured every single hole to
Right.
make sure that they were
They were
4 feet.
deep enough, yeah.
And then, I
And to me,
don't know what else he measured, but he
To be
didn't.
quite frank, this isn't the only situation where that, I mean, I understand people don't wanna pay that much for a map, but in the interim, and in the long run, you're gonna be paying double, triple,
Right, yeah.
quadruple.
Yeah, and I
If
think,
it's
Yeah,
wrong.
to get all this done.
Yeah.
yeah, if we can ask all the questions and get the answers done in one package, then you'd be done with it.
I'm gonna, before I email the attorney, I'm gonna email Ed Bott, the chairman, about zoning to see if we can do a variance modification, like If he can tell me that, yeah, the variance, we'll approve the variance, we'll just modify it because
Yeah.
it's already there. That way they don't have to rescind one and then add another one that's, Involves the
Play
same
the new, play the new property,
yeah.
new proposed property.
Yeah, I don't have any issues with this application. I just want to make sure that all the correct variances are.
Yeah, I don't want
So, yeah,
to.
just to be clear, we're fine.
I'd rather go through it.
So the original variance was granted August 12th of 2020. So that would be your question to the zoning board. Can they? And if so, what did it take to get that done? Right. If they can modify the original variance.
And it seems like there's some discrepancy whether it was 12 inches or 2 feet, even.
Yeah.
Even the documents. we have.
Right. Right. And the- he thought it was 1 foot and that's
Between the two
22.
property line, it's 15 feet. That's.
Yes.
I'll correct that. I'll find the minutes. and look.
Okay, so first thing, your septic has to show on your map with the dimensions.
Correct.
The third question was about the other owners, so we're okay with that, correct? Because he will be giving a variance.
Yep.
Or, excuse me, a right of way.
Yes.
So that everybody that currently uses that can continue to use it.
Yep.
Yep.
And Joe will give us an answer on the. And if they can't modify, then you're gonna have to apply for another variance,
Right.
which will be 4.2. Whatever that is. 15 point. Can't read, is it 4.2?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a couple of questions I was gonna ask, if they can't modify the original,
Yeah.
can they add it to the most recent?
Yeah.
It's like
A way of, so it's two variances in one.
Right.
You have any feeling for that, what they might do, or?
Yeah, I don't think they'll do the 2-in-1 because they have to. It would have to be completely separate because one's an area variance for a well, and then the other one's an area variance for.
Correct.
Okay, so when we get out of here, one of the things we know, Eric, is you need to have the map updated with locating the septic. And the question about the variance.
I don't know why he didn't put that on there.
Yeah, okay.
Put on the, and you wanted
Well,
the finished product, I don't know why he didn't put it on.
So we've got a total area of 0.203 acres. Colored version of the map shows it pretty well. Still a little messy there, pretty close.
That's life. It's a little messy there.
But do we have anything else that we can
Yeah,
think of? Yeah, go ahead,
I-
Carlos.
There's no signatures from Deb Pecora on,
Right.
the application.
I got-
Final copy.
I got-
Yeah, I got the other one late because I couldn't get a hold of Deb, she was in Syracuse.
The original one, I have the original here that has,
That's got the original, notarized form of Deb. I couldn't get it, I couldn't get it out of Syracuse. I couldn't get hold of it.
it's her
Fine, that's fine.
signature.
I
And it
just-
has some wording up here about the description that we wrote, a subdivision of 0.203 acres from tax map
Mhm.
to be annexed by tax map. So that was part of the description that didn't show up there, but it's on the original. Okay,
Can we do more chicken up and egg? Can we approve something conditional on that final variance or,
I think we should.
or we just send it
I
back?
think we
and
have to
take
send
the-
it back and get that clarified and then come back to us. I don't want to set up another condition. Because we'll be going on.
So then we.
That's
give
my
the-
opinion. I don't know what you all think.
I would be more comfortable having it complete.
Yeah,
So then do we table the seeker as well?
yes.
Probably able to public
Well,
hearing.
we will have to, no, we can keep it open.
Keep it open.
We can keep the public hearing and the preliminary reviews tabled, so it's still open. So when we
Is there a
resume,
motion on that or?
yeah, we'll have a motion to table the review. and the public hearing. Are there any other questions? All right.
Would you like to be on the zoning board?
No, can't,
My
you
schedule's
cannot.
Can't be on more than one.
Both.
Can't be more on than on one.
Oh, I thought I had all my I's dotted and T's crossed.
Well,
I would rather do this all the right
I think
way.
I did.
I really don't want, I know it's more of a hassle, but I'd rather do it.
And I think when you and I,
Appreciate your
when
perspective.
we talked, Eric, and with Darlis,
Yeah.
you kind of knew there might be something else
Yeah.
coming along. That's why
But
we.
this is, the property's a mess now and I just want to get it.
I make a motion that we keep the public hearing open and we table the
Preliminary review.
preliminary review.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Who's that? Caroline, all in favor?
I,
Aye. Opposed? Okay, so we'll just,
The septic on the map. And then.
Well, yeah.
And,
that
don't
variance.
have him prepare the final map until.
right, but just, but do you want a copy of this still for the next meeting that has the septic on it? Or do you just want it in the final?
Be in the final.
All right, I could get Jeremy to give me one before the next meeting.
Okay.
If you don't need it, I could have him do
Just,
it.
it will need to show up on the final. And
Okay.
as long as it's informing,
Is there?
Just get it figured out,
We're looking at, is it that?
not on
Clock
tabling,
running?
not,
Okay.
no, the tabling stops the clock.
Okay,
And we're okay with the clock anyway, because the clock is that the planning board needs to address the application within 62 days of receiving it.
okay.
So we've done that.
And I think we have agreed
Clock.
with the owner that we
Clock
need.
is stopped. Well,
time.
you have to
I wanted-
talk to Deb Pecora about it so that she knows what's going on.
Yeah, she's postponing the sale of her house a little anyway, she's not ready to go yet, so I still have some more time. I'd rather do it right away.
And in reference to your question about the septic, we can approve it conditional on Ted
On the finals.
receiving a final map
Yeah.
with whatever.
And the final deed verbiage change and stuff like that.
Actually, we don't need to see the deed. I mean,
Okay.
that's your responsibility.
Okay.
Should we? I mean, that addresses the issue of the easement.
Well, actually, it does.
But I don't want it to go back another month, I'd rather just have it all,
Yeah.
if that's what we need to do.
Because.
I can call it later.
We should, just as a
It should be also in
verification.
the record, so that if a question comes up.
I can just have them
it's right
put up
there.
some verbiage on something that's gonna get added to the deed.
Yeah, usually, so
Yeah.
not usually, but in my research, it said that, you write up preliminary verbiage that would go in the deed that's signed by an attorney.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? I guess we're done for tonight. Eric, thank you for coming and for your patience.
Yeah, no
We'll
problem, I'd rather do it the right
get this done eventually.
And that, I went out and I looked at the property, which
Good.
really helped me understand
Yes.
what the map was, and you were very patient, showed me everything, as if
Yep.
where everything was.
All right, we're good.
We're good.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Just put me back on the next meeting, or you want me to email you or whatever?
Yeah, well,
Wait, I mean,
keep me
Ed's
informed.
back.
I need to know, are we set to have you come? I don't want you to come to the meeting if we're not set.
And you need to have that, 2 weeks prior?
Well, see, this is an issue. Our main meeting is on the 18th
Yeah.
Because of Memorial Day.
because of Memorial
We
Day.
need a week early.
And so we needed a week early. And perhaps planning board, since it's a short time and I'm gonna be out of town for a couple of graduation, maybe we won't get a full packet out to you in the mail. So we'll have to hand out something at the meeting if
I'm fine with
if
that.
that's okay.
If you need to walk something in because the meeting's a week early and we've tabled this,
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with that.
Okay. I mean, Holly can send out the agenda. We'll know the agenda in the minutes, but the actual final documents. Okay,
I'm comfortable with
but
that.
just keep in touch, both of you, with us, keep progress and keep this moving along.
Okay, all right.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay. All right, thanks. I know it was gonna be a little messy, but not quite that messy. Adam, come on up here and sit up here and the next agenda item is a special use permit application for Adam Bauer Vickers. 5672 County Road 36. So this is Adam.
Hey.
He's the owner of the planning board. So look at the application. This is a special use permit, non-residential. Because it's for a function, commercial function. Adam is the owner. Tax map number, total site area is 11 acres. The proposed use for the special permit is a music festival. Current land use and condition is it's residential and some open land. And the surrounding is woods. I don't know if on the application you got a description of the project on the back page. So we're talking about a one-day musical festival, multiple live bands, and the date, I put the date on here because you didn't have it on, it's August 29th. Is that correct, Ed?
Yep. On
August 29th, which is a Saturday. And so for a special use, what we have to do is we have to meet all of the requirements for a site. And then in addition to those, whatever requirements there are and requests for the special use. And the special use application is where we as a planning board have to look at things carefully and make rulings on what's acceptable and what's not, because it's not very well defined. Okay? It is in our code book, chapter 120, section 90, a whole section on special use permits. So that's a good point. Thank you. So that was a preamble.
I make a motion to reopen the public hearing
And the preliminary review.
and the preliminary hearing.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Darlis, all in favor?
I,
Thank you, Holly. Okay. So, Adam, why don't you tell us what it is you want to do here in your words? I've given everyone the paper that you gave us, the details on the special use. Just for background, Adam has held something similar to this for the last 2 years, but this year he's expanding. They're anticipating more people to be there, and he's charging admission. He's going to add some food trucks. And so he's expanding the whole thing, and that's why he's here, been being required to have a special use permit this year when he hasn't had one in the past. So Adam, you want to tell us exactly what it is?
Yep, so basically, just wanna have a place where the public can listen to live music at an affordable cost that is family friendly. And yeah, just get the live music pushed out to the public so people can enjoy it. And I have 5 kids myself, well, 4, 1 on the way. It's always hard to bring them to places like this without no kids or places we can't kids or can't whatever. But yeah, I just wanted to say, well, let's just do it at my house and then yeah, so and promote local businesses, kind of like a fair almost. But
Are the bands local?
yes, the bands are local, all but 2. 2 of the bands are from Ithaca. Majority of the bands are from this area.
Are you one of them? Do you have one of the bands?
No. I can't play anything, but I like to listen. That is it.
Okay, and let's see, Caroline and I met with Adam a couple of times. Joe met with us as well. A little more detail. Request is he would like to operate from 12 noon on Saturday until 1:30 a.m. Sunday. That's when the music will stop. And then He's anticipating that by around 3, everyone will be gone. Everything will be shut down, but the music will stop around 1:30. That's his plan.
Did that happen last year, 1:30?
I think it's like 2. Yeah, it went later the last, the 2.
So this is earlier, you're stopping earlier than the last 2 years.
Yes.
So just other information, traffic control, Joe is going to notify the sheriff. They'll have sheriffs patrolling. Adam's going to have parking monitors to handle the traffic. There's going to be a single entrance, a single exit. The pay station is actually past the parking area. And look at that in the map, but people will be able to pull into the parking area, be directed to parking spaces. He's got, I forgot how many you said, parking spaces, but there's their regulation, 10 feet by 20 feet. Marked off, they'll be marked off, so not just people pulling into a field and parking haphazardly. He will have liability insurance, just like he's had in past years. Fire chief has inspected the site and has approved it. Get emergency vehicle in. The water source, there will be no water supplied other than water bottles, and things like that.
Yeah.
There will be porta potties on the site. The lighting, you told me what the lighting was, and did you give us a drawing?
Yeah.
Give us a drawing of the lighting to see that they conform. You said they were like construction lights, right?
Yeah.
But we do have a lighting regulation, on what the lights can be.
Or dark sky compliant, right?
Yeah,
Well, that's where you want the light is down on the ground, not. up
Yeah,
in
the light is angled down.
but we have maximum extent of glare can't be greater than 90 feet from the source. Set in the appendix on our zoning code. I think you told us that they would be within that, correct?
Yep.
So the lighting, we talked about that. Talked about a few other things. Can you recall anything else, Caroline, as we went through that we needed to highlight?
Oh, the cleanup.
Oh, yeah.
I'll have everything cleaned up by no later than 5 o'clock Sunday, which is the 30th, that's right?
Yes.
Yeah, that would be the next day. Yeah.
Okay. That should probably show up. This needs to be modified. Just you have to put on here the hours of the music. And then the statement about the site cleanup will be
Okay, good, yeah.
complete by 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Both of those
Oh, you
are in
do?
here.
Are they on here?
Under safety and compliance.
Okay,
Waste
there
management.
it is. Yeah, 5 p.m. on the 30th. Okay.
And the hours are here at the top. Just
Okay,
3
good.
a.m.
It says 3 a.m. Yeah. Because it's the activity, the music.
Understood. Very.
Okay. And then we went through all of the other site plan requirements, and obviously the one about, or the other point is, there've never been any complaints from any of the neighbors in the past 2 years. We're not planning to exceed any noise levels than he's had in the past 2 years, so that should be acceptable. Any other notes that you had, Caroline, or Joe or Adam, anything to add?
How many people do you anticipate?
Last year I had about 400 people. But not at once. So it was through a, but from 12 to 3 or whatever, it was about that much. I had asked Adam this year particularly to keep a head count more accurately. Yeah. That way we have more information if this continues.
Okay.
And just to note that veterans will get in for free.
Free admission for veterans, okay.
Retired nurses?
I don't think so. Okay.
Carlos, go ahead.
I didn't count up the parking spaces, but,
125,
okay, 125, okay, because I have.
Does that include the overflow?
yes.
Okay.
Okay, that's my new bifocal, so I couldn't do that. What will you do if all your parking is full and more people want to come?
So, on the top of Jersey Hill, I didn't add it in, I was just gonna freeball that question. But at the top of Jersey Hill, that house right up there, the log cabin,
Mhm.
I'm good friends with him, his name.
That's Kyle.
Kyle, yeah, Kyle Boone. He had offered me additional parking if needed. But last year, we didn't even, with as many attendances, we didn't even use the overflow parking. So I think. I requested the backup, that's why we came up with this. It was just a plan because I had no idea and I was nervous about that, and the county was too, because I was also working with the county, making sure that we weren't doing anything that was wrong in their eyes.
And you were planning on having a shuttle then from that upper parking if necessary?
Yeah, I have a 12-person
A van or something?
Yeah.
Even though the road's closed.
Well, they have Cratchit. Well, yeah, he needs Cratchit.
His property ends up at Cratchley Hill.
Yeah, I really. I want to say there is more parking than that. I'll have to, especially up here. Well, you don't have to get too crowded. I mean,
Yeah, I was just curious.
Yeah,
yeah, or even just something from Kyle, written from Kyle that.
yeah, we would need something written and signed, giving you authority to park and where's he gonna park his car, park those cars?
So he has a field which I think is
Wet.
a lot larger than.
It's
mine.
wet. I
Is it wet?
drive right by it every day. I'm a little concerned about being able to
Yeah,
park
we'll
up
be
there.
there.
It might be cement, if it's
Pardon?
by August, it might be cement if it's like I'm
Okay, that's a good point.
wet now, but.
Yeah.
So you've been talking to county planning?
Yeah, I was working with county planning and with building. Because of tent size and then sheer volume of people. We're not even getting close to any kind of health permits.
Right, that was another point. He's exempt from having state health
Yes.
approval.
And I did speak with Mike from the health department at Geneva, and he wanted to make sure that we had some kind of sanitary stations with the porta potties, whether they come with one, they have one there. Yeah, and all the food and beverage vendors are going to be permitted in Ontario County. Yeah, which was made sure that last year. Yeah, which was another thing they have problems with, because food trucks will get a permit in Livingston County and then think they can set up in Ontario County, but that's not allowed.
Alcohol will be served?
Alcohol will be served under a licensed vendor, and I'm covered under her insurance for alcohol as the landowner, and then on top of that, I have the other insurance. And she's only allowed to certain types of alcohol.
Right, I was wondering, you gonna allow people to bring beverages in or not?
I'm not going to advertise that you can, but I'm not gonna advertise that you can't.
So would that be your responsibility to verify the vendors are permitted on our?
Yes, that definitely
So
is.
you're taking that responsibility. I just wonder if that has to show up somewhere or just word of mouth.
It's actually it is a county code, and it's part of our permitting too, like any food truck that operates in the town of Canada has to come and get a.
They have to show you the permit and you
Yes.
have to sign off. So that's your part. Okay, good.
I guess.
Yep, go right ahead, Darlis.
And I kind of got off track a little bit. But people will drive into this main parking lot and park and then pay at the pay stations. But if all the parking spaces down here are filled up, then how do they find out about the other parking?
So I'll have signs at,
Okay, so we have to-
Last year I had a sign that said he enter here, and then at this driveway, which is my driveway for this house, it'll say additional parking.
Okay.
But this will be coned off,
Mhm.
and then if this, which last year with all that people, we never had to use this. but
They never filled up.
Never
Yeah.
filled up.
I'm just
But-
anticipating great success here.
In case, I have signs that say additional parking here, and then. Obviously, the attendee at.
Yeah, you're gonna have somebody, a
Yeah.
parking attendant, right?
The parking attendant at the time that's over here will say, hey, you have to go over
Okay.
here. to
Okay,
this.
if you've got plans to have humans out there to direct
Yeah.
people, that's a good way to do it.
If you do use the auxiliary parking, how are people getting back to the pay station? Do they have to walk along the road?
No, there is a little trail right here from my house, and there's a little bridge that goes
Okay,
over.
this is a little trail right here.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So
So it's the dotted line on the map
Is that
of the
a-
trail.
The dotted blue line, is that an active creek?
It is active now, but in the summertime, it dries up.
It's not a class
No, I'm just curious.
classified stream. It's
So
like-
is there a rain date?
Rain date. No, it's, rain or shine.
My other question was, are you gonna put signs up for advertising this on your property, and would we need a sign permit?
Yes, I was actually gonna bring that up today. I did not know. So last year or the last 2 years, I, called Joe and said, hey, do I need a permit or anything, blah, blah, blah. And he said, whatever, and then call Ontario County and make sure, blah, 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 and did that, and they said, no, you're good. So I put up a sign last year and advertised that way. And I found out this year that, technically I was not supposed to do that. Right? Without.
No, you're allowed a single sign, 32 square feet.
Yeah.
That's what the zoning code allows.
If it's
With the
with the special use permit, that's correct.
and what is the time period can that be put up? It
Oh,
Yeah, I think,
can't run for 6 months.
right.
no.
I don't think.
Specified,
Specifies the timeframe. I think.
specified the size,
I
which
think
is
the-
pretty big, actually 32 square feet.
It's big, yeah.
It's quite large, but it's a single sign.
Yes,
Not multiple signs that coming down the road or anything like that. It's a single sign.
the only additional signs that would be up would be the parking signs,
Which are temporary.
which are temporary.
No, I was wondering like a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months.
Yeah, that's,
I was gonna say,
That's
if you guys would allow it, if I could advertise on that sign. After this meeting.
I mean, if the code doesn't say, and the code says that once the special use permit is issued, then you can put up a sign, then once you.
We're not gonna issue a permit today. In that it has to go to.
Yeah, this- right, the process is we will get up through a preliminary review. A vote on that and the seeker. And if everything is okay at that point, without some major modifications, we'll send it to county. They at their next meeting, which will be sometime in May, will review it. And I'm not sure how quickly they'll respond, to get to the May 18th, our meeting date or not.
Well, if we get it in, if it can, well, it'll be on our next agenda.
It'll be on your
if
next
you get
agenda.
it in quicker.
And the answer back will be,
We'll rule on it,
you rule on it that night.
yeah,
Okay,
and there may or may not be comments from the county planning board. County planning might ask, highway or someone, I don't know who they'll ask.
yeah.
Code enforcement.
Yeah, I don't recall a time on the sign.
There's not, I think they left that discretion for the planning board to decide.
The sign for advertising for when it's gonna be obviously comes
It-
down soon. But what I liked was when I drove by the property, actually, big, big signs, thank you.
Yeah, that's the,
Yeah.
Yes.
So the
That was a
restriction,
very nice touch.
the other restriction is it cannot be a lighted sign.
Yeah, it's not a
It
lighted
can't be a
sign.
lighted sign. But it can be up to 32 square feet. Okay.
The sign should not go up until he has approval.
Right, not until you get to well, the question is. I'm assuming we'll probably grant preliminary approval. Is that okay to allow him to put the sign up, or do we have to wait until final approval?
I would be more comfortable with final.
Which at the earliest could be May 18th.
So that's a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, yeah.
I would agree with that.
So there's that answer, okay. So, but, I think he's done a great job on the preliminary map. He understands he has to have a final map. This is not an engineer's map. He understands he has to have one prepared by a certified engineer, architect, or surveyor. Stamped and signed. He'll need 2 of those, but we're not requiring him to get that at this point, unless we see major problems with this. And you see the stage, 60 feet of gathering area, handicap parking, porta potties. He also,
Will there be wash stations with the portable restaurant?
Yes. Yeah, they normally come standard with them now. Yeah, they come with.
it's a wash station or just?
Or a
just a
sanitizing.
sanitizing dispenser?
They will have. the sanitizer in each one, and then I can get an additional, wash station.
And you said that
But
was part
that's-
of what you spoke to public health about?
Yeah, they recommended that we require it.
And that's self-contained, right? So there'd be no
Yeah.
more.
So it is something,
Underground.
or if it's something that he has on the property, which I don't think he do it.
So it's recommended that we require that.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
didn't see anything about a wash station or provision of potable water in this.
They're not providing potable water unless it
No.
comes in a bottle.
He's not planning on providing potable water.
For purchase.
That would be within the vendors, right?
That's not a public health thing to provide potable.
Well, not,
I have provided, bottled water just because as a human, you should have free water.
Understood.
So there will be free bottled water, and you can also purchase it.
Okay, so you're free bottled water.
but from a health department standpoint, because it's not over the 5,000 threshold, it's not
Not required.
Are you gonna separate and recycle your garbage?
Yes.
That is in here.
And I think Adam mentioned you during the event, he was gonna have people walking around and trying to
Yeah, my.
police the area,
my,
things on the ground during the event.
My children.
Your children?
So.
Does that need to be spelled out here about water be provided, bottled water?
So I'm not as concerned about that because Joe just said that if it's under the 5,000 person threshold, that's
Mhm.
not a requirement. It is recommended by public health that there are, how did you phrase it, sanitizing stations?
Wash stations or sanitizing stations. So
I would feel more comfortable if that language was in here under maybe safety and compliance. And then once that is added, then that becomes your responsibility to verify as code enforcement. Who's double checking?
So I'm required by the code book to go down and do periodic checks during the event.
Okay,
Of a special use permit, and that also, you guys have the discretion here to decide how many, or if any, but the the special use permit does require at some point I go down.
Okay. So if we put in here about the sanitizing and or wash stations, then that is something that you'll just check off during
Yep.
your inspections.
Yep, and I'll, once I have more information and to get the final approval, I'll create some kind of checklist for preliminary inspection before it starts and then after it starts. And if you guys want me to go in between, I can do that too.
I have do have a
So-
question, Ted.
Yes.
Did we send letters out to the neighbors for tonight, or that's for the final one?
That's for the final, I believe,
Yeah,
Okay,
before the event.
correct.
We're
so let
required
neighbors know that
I
we're,
think she's asking as a,
notification.
as a planning board, we're approving this special use permit. Have the neighbors been notified that this is
happening.
in front of the?
They
planning
have
board?
not. That's something we can do since we're tabling. And so we'll have to have Holly draft a letter. You can provide us the names and addresses of the neighboring properties.
Yep,
There's some on
yeah, just,
Jersey Hill Road, right?
just two.
There are two. And so we have to send a letter advising, notifying them that a special use applicant permit for special use has been applied for. A rough description of the project and serving as notification.
And there's been a sign up on the property for the public hearing, right?
I was gonna say, it's
Yeah.
also part of public hearing law, so.
I had that up,
Yeah. Yeah, he brought that sign back. The sign has been up for a week at
Yeah.
least. Yeah. So anyone has had
Public
opportunity,
forum.
but it does specifically say that special use, we are planning board is required to notify near neighbors. I think it's like
Is that something prior to approval or post?
Well, it's prior because it's part of the regulation. So
Okay.
it would be prior to, just like any other part would be prior to the
Do
final.
they do that because they have a say in it, or do they do that because they want people to show up to the meeting? That's just this for my own.
Yeah, they just want to make sure no near neighbor is unaware of the.
They don't have a say in it, but
Yeah,
they.
they don't have a say in it.
Opinion.
If they had had a say, I mean, they could have come to the public hearing tonight.
Right,
had-
it's
they had
similar
fun
to a
last year.
variance. then, like-
Pardon?
They had fun last year.
Well, they.
Yeah. Did you have the section of where that was, Carolyn?
That said, I think that under application procedures, 12091.
91?
C, notification of property owners. The town shall notify by regular first-class mail all owners of property located within 500 feet of the property being the subject of the special use permit application. The cost of such notification shall be paid by the applicant.
So there are two, right?
Well, what about?
500 feet. would be
Oh, that-
painted.
are they 500 feet within the property line? Within 500 feet of the property.
Right, so County Road 36 isn't 500 feet wide.
Looks like there's quite a few across the street.
Oh, yeah, they're across the road.
Yes.
Yes.
Houses are. More than. Or more than 500 feet away.
I can verify that on,
500 feet from your property.
from the property line or from the easement line from the.
From the property, so from the property line. From the property, it says. So part of this special use permit is out to County Road 36, so it's 500 feet, 36 east. And north. Is that something you can get fairly quickly? A list of names and addresses, mailing addresses
Yeah.
for these properties?
For
Because we'll have to,
the, for the two people here, or the people that are.
I'll verify.
yes,
that.
all of the ones that are within 500 feet.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Property through the property line?
You're
You
gonna,
can go to Encore and measure the 500.
That's what I'm gonna do. And then I can, on Encore, I can pull.
From the property.
Yeah, I can pull.
you pull a name and mailing address.
Yep.
And then we'll have to have a letter form letter. Just saying this is notification of special use.
Can I send that via
Application.
email? Can I
Pardon?
send that via email, the list, or do you want to wait till the next meeting?
Oh, no, I want her to get the letters out before next meeting.
Right,
So they can come to. the
So if
meeting.
you could email Holly
okay.
with a list, you can put them together. Get them out, get them in the mail.
Okay.
So that part will be done. That's a good reminder.
And the cost? Did we,
Postage costs,
is that what it says? Postage cost or the cost to mail them?
cost of such notification shall be paid by the applicant.
So
So,
in theory, you
just-
get time and postage.
right. So we'll have to figure out approximately how long it takes you to do that. How much it costs, and we'll pass that on to you. If you want to work for free, then that's fine too, but you can charge for your time, but definitely the postage. So Joe is going to send a list of names and mailing addresses to Holly. You can get that together, get them in the mail, and that will be complete before.
How, you a way to do labels?
I don't.
If you want to send me the list, I can make labels and give them to Al.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
Is there a lot of?
Well, it looks like there might be 6 or 7 along.
Or it might be
here.
more, but,
Okay,
There may
unless you
be,
want to handwrite.
We're looking at about a dozen.
yeah, probably a dozen.
Yeah.
Okay,
Overall, I think that this plan looks great. I think it's really impressive. You've held the event for 2 years and haven't had any complaints. As you're developing the formal site plan, and correct me if I'm wrong here, is it gonna be similar to our site plans for like subdivision? Because I don't see a well or a septic. I know they're not being utilized for this event, so maybe they don't need to be on the site. But there's some missing information from what we would usually see.
yeah, I'm not sure about that. We can check that right now, the site plan. Chapter 120, section 118. It's a good question whether those have to be located on the site plan. They
What-
typically do on a site plan,
Yeah,
right?
Just an FYI too, this property is a little bit different than normal, because this property used to have a special use permit. It was a campground,
For a campground, yeah.
and they had all kinds of stipulations, and once the property owner stopped doing a certain thing, it automatically cut the special use permit. But there is a holding tank for septic
okay.
there,
Yeah,
and maybe a separate well, if I remember, because when I did the research, when the property was for sale, we had, I don't know, maybe 24 people call and ask if they could, make it a campground. like, the special use permit.
Yeah,
I would be comfortable if you don't have those things written onto the plan, if we make a notation that, provision of water and, bathroom facilities will be separate, it won't be part of the house or, the regular. Well, and, you're not gonna let people in your house.
Right.
And also give a general area based on drawings where the septic and well are. It won't be precise, but
Because it won't be used by the patrons of the.
Right. This says that the site plan map must show roads and easements, internal road pattern, location of all existing and proposed structures on the site, current and future use of the same. Existing natural features, contours, drainage report, proposed water supply, intended use. It doesn't say here.
separate statement as to propose sources of water supply and method of sewage disposal. So I would agree with Darlis that it's going to be porta potties and separate stations. It's
Do you
not.
have
Water.
you have a contract with the porta potties?
Yeah, so that should go under safety and compliance.
I've been using the same people. Have a
contract.
How do they charge?
Written down.
Oh, yeah, they'll send me an email to be proven what I.
I saw somewhere.
Was and all that.
Okay,
Yeah, you
It's
have
on the map, you
Yeah,
haven't
you have
designated.
detail on the map. Let's just bump that, 3 standard, 1 ADA to the proposal as well, just so we have it detailed there.
so
And I assume you got feedback from public health or the county about how many porta potties you need is that enough for 400 people?
Or, yeah.
that's where I was going when I was asking him about the contract, cause usually in the contracts, it'll say an estimated. And then what you can go over the estimate.
Yeah,
And that will 9 times out of 10 comply with what the health department, I can always just call Mike and confirm with him that it's okay, but that's
Yeah.
why I was asking if you got.
Last year I had this amount
Okay,
and 1 handicap, and I didn't, the one thing we did was, I think we ran out of toilet paper, so I had to get some from. The house.
yeah. But it's
It's
fine.
always the first thing to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I really had no stressors on bathrooms or the parking.
Yeah, when you do get any information from the porta potties, just email it,
Okay.
and then I'll
The
confirm.
amount of people. I mean, I think last year I called them up and was like, hey, I'm gonna have maybe 100 to 300 people, and they're like, oh, that should be good.
Right, and that's normal, that's what I
Yeah.
mean, and a lot of times they put it
Yeah.
in an email form for,
But I don't mind getting
and
the required amount.
And it sounds like you've been doing a great job. We just have to cover ourselves if we're issuing this permit. We can't be like, oh yeah, Adam's did a good job the
Yeah.
last 2 years. I'm sure he'll do good this year. We
Right.
just have to put it
Yeah.
in order for us to be able to approve it. We just need everything very clear. Because if something went wrong and there was an issue with there not being like adequate facilities, like that could potentially come back on us. If we said, oh yeah, three porta potties should be plenty, and it was vastly undersized, that's on
We would
us.
have to put on there somewhere. That states how much each porta potty can facilitate, basically,
something along those lines, but it would have to come directly from
from the company.
Yeah, based on their experience.
And I think couldn't we just put language here that says, adequate.
Yeah.
Facility, adequate waste
Waste management
Sanitation.
or sanitation facilities.
for, you're expecting 400 people. Are we putting is there a cap on it or not? I don't think.
There's not.
It's hard to put a cap on.
It was an
it.
Yeah, then how do you know how many porta potties you need?
That's why the county recommended that with everything, you have a backup.
Yeah.
And that's why we have that's why I asked them to prepare some kind of backup for the parking, so
Yeah.
I would just, maybe when you're talking to your porta potty guy, just ask them if I need 1 or 2 where I need you guys to come pick it up, are you gonna be available?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause I
Yeah.
know 4 is,
Pop-outs.
I know myself 4 is enough based off experience, but.
Yeah.
If like we're legally need to have like 8 or something, that would be crazy, cause they're expensive.
Yeah, the legalities behind it are it's kind of gray, is what I'm saying, I mean.
And I guess what I'm saying is I'm okay putting the language a little bit vague here with the understanding that Joe is gonna review
Right.
what the company says. And say, okay, you're expecting X amount of people. And he's gonna provide that information to Joe. I'm comfortable not making this language ironclad, because if he only needs 2, he needs 2. If he needs 80, he needs
Right.
80.
Right.
But we don't know that number right here today.
So does it,
Don't trust them.
the question of should the well and septic that are associated with the hoses, do they need to show on the map?
I would think not, because they.
Not really part of the site, right?
Nothing to do with the site.
And
One
and
of
the
the-
way that the code was written, it said that wastewater and water facilities needed to be provided.
Right,
And this addresses it.
But they aren't being provided through the house, through the
Right,
well, or through the
right.
septic. They are
Yeah.
separate, and he has.
and
put
he has
those
shown
on.
those on the map,
And we're gonna add
The
the
verbiage.
wash station.
right, about the wash station.
So to me, that satisfies the code. We don't need
Yeah.
to necessarily know where his well or his septic are,
Because they're not in use.
because they are not
Right.
part of this special use permit.
Any input on that, everybody? Okay with that? They don't need to show up on the site plan map in this case. Okay. So you've had a chance to look over the map and it looks good discussion. Any other thoughts?
Those letter was helpful to have it up packet as well.
Yeah, Joe wrote up a nice
Very helpful.
letter describing and endorsing it basically.
To
Basically
get the history.
going along with it, yeah, so that was good. Thank you for that, Joe. So at this point, we've identified a few things that need to be added to the description here. Basically, the verbiage around from the map, where you put we've got 3 standard portable restrooms and 88, just
And,
show that up. I don't know if you put it under safety and compliance. I would put that verbiage and include the statement that wash stations and or sanitizing stations will be provided as well.
And so, right, so the add in on this proposal, the number of,
Just what you've written here, 3 standard portable
Oh.
restrooms, 188 compliant portable restroom.
gotcha,
And then the words about the sanitizing
I would
and the,
say that it should maybe say adequate portable standard restrooms
Oh,
and
yeah.
at least one ADA compliant portable restroom for expected attendance.
instead of 3, just say adequate.
Instead of saying a particular.
Specific number, yeah.
on this proposal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like on your section that says safety and compliance, probably, just say that. And then on the other thing I had noted on this was that you need to put the date. Didn't see a date, you put
Oh,
the
yeah.
time.
Gotcha.
So you just put the date, the end of the time when you do that.
Will you do pre-sale for tickets or only at the door?
Only at the door.
So it sounds like we have enough in my mind to think about preliminary approval. We've identified a couple of minor things on the paperwork. Anyone have anything else before we move to granting a preliminary approval?
And then with that, it goes to the county.
Well, with that, we will go through the seeker. And then after the seeker, we'll close the public hearing.
Yeah.
Then we'll table. Well, we don't have to table because that's a typical stoppage of the process. We then send it to the county for their review. They'll get us back that information within a couple of days, hopefully. So we should have that in our hands by the time we meet on the 18th.
What are we sending to the county? Is that an updated?
Yeah, how quickly can you get this? Oh, this one actually doesn't need to be updated. It's just this.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I can do that tomorrow.
You could get that to us right away. And Birch, for you, I understand that all of this has to be submitted electronically, but I looked on the website and there's no referral. It's just that general page. How do we do this? How do we submit them, do you know?
I have no idea.
Should I call
Yeah.
Kyle or?
Okay, call five.
So I'll probably end up taking package of stuff unless we can scan it somehow. I don't know, maybe they have scan
They have a
it.
scanner. They should have a scanner.
We could scan it here and well, I'll talk to Kyle.
Not
Rick.
Kyle, but anybody
Drop it
want-
off.
I'll get a hold of him tomorrow. asking what the process is to actually submit.
Yeah, and I have-
Submit it.
I recuse myself.
Yeah, you-
And I'm not allowed to even discuss it.
You can't even be in the room, can you?
Yeah, I can be. in
Oh,
the
you
room.
can?
I just can't ask questions.
So the path forward is, Adam, you'll get this revised
Yeah.
plan here as soon as possible.
And
I will,
and or an adequate path.
yeah,
And the date.
and the date,
I'll email the addresses and names tomorrow to the purge.
okay. So it sounds like we should have a motion to grant preliminary approval to this application.
I'll make a motion.
All right, Caitlin, is there a second?
I'll second.
Caroline, last chance for questions right now? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Good, Adam. So now we'll move to the seeker. Environmental quality review. Here we go. Project and sponsor name Full Moon Music Festival. I guess on this, you give a brief description. I would say we need to modify that by putting the date on it. So if you don't, this is the form I'm looking at. Yeah, so I can do that right now and you can initial it if you'd like to make sure, so.
Yeah, I don't wanna kill any more trees.
Right.
A lot of paper.
So August, what was it?
August 29th.
26. And I'll have you initial in a few moments in case we have to make any other changes. So Adam is the applicant, address. Does not require any other permits. Total acreage of the site is about 11. He's using about 5 for the site.
So Ted, for number 2, does the proposed action require a permit, approval, or funding from any other government agency? Don't we have to go through county planning? That'd be yes.
We do, but they don't actually approve.
Okay, so that's not technically
They
an
give-
approval.
they-
Okay,
No,
it's just a
Right.
referral.
it's a referral.
Right, we get a referral and we give a, we don't approve,
Okay.
Right.
we can.
You give
a negative.
recommendations. Pardon?
We can give you a negative, in which case you need a supermajority to
Right,
override.
there's no special separate permit required.
No.
Understood.
Okay, any other thing? Hopefully you've had a chance to look at the questions. 1 through 20. This seem to be missing page 2 on mine. If you guys got page 2.
Oh, it's on the back. It's on the
The
back.
back of
The
one,
back of one.
now his didn't turn out.
Mine didn't.
Mine did.
Okay, any questions on any of the other questions in the seeker?
Number 10, the same will propose action connect to an existing public-private water supply, and yes is checked.
So that is.
So-
Let me find.
Are we connecting to public water or the private water supply or no? Okay, so that should be
So that
checked.
should be a no. I think this is the original. Unless it has that, I must. Oh, I see.
I think we were talking about his house actually at that point, because I was surprised that we were connected to public water there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the house is under two.
Right, yeah.
So what did he do?
That's not-
He made copies for us, so, okay, so that's question number
10.
10,
And
and there's probably one about wastewater also,
Yeah,
right?
he put portable bathrooms here.
Okay, so you're gonna have to initial that one, so, any other questionable questions about questions?
Town have wetland maps and floodplain maps?
Yeah. Yes. He's not in the first one. Joe has them in his office. They're not in the
I
100-year.
believe that they are.
Right? I haven't
Yeah,
had it, I just got.
That's right, that's right.
Oh, you got a new book or something?
Yeah. we got the-
Well, we got the print, we just passed the town, adopted a new comprehensive plan.
they're available for $30. Meet me out back in the trunk of my car. Not yet.
Okay.
You want to act-
A quick question on number 9, does the proposed
One
action
extra?
meet or exceed the state energy code requirements? Oh, meet, I'm sorry, never mind.
Okay, yeah, maybe. That's kind of a redundant question for this. For
this
Not a
particular.
question for this action.
Right.
Okay. Given that,
Let's see, 17B, there wasn't anything there. Stormwater discharges be directed to conveyances of runoff or storm drains. The only impact I could think of was the parking area.
It's grass.
but this A and B are only answered if the answer to 17 is yes. So the answer to 17 is no.
Okay,
So we don't have to
Thank
fill those in.
okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. These are they're not easily
It's tricky.
understood.
This is not a layman's form.
Interpreted.
This is not a layman's form.
Okay, given all of that, we have a series of 11 questions that we need to read through and say, will they have a positive or negative impact? So somebody want to read those for us?
I would try, but my copy is really.
I'm trying to get I don't know how I got this terrible copy.
I'll try.
Here,
Will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulation? No. Will the proposed action result in the change in the use of or intensity of use of the land? Actually,
I would say no or small impact. It's only changing for one day.
let's say no. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community? No. Will the proposed action have an impact on the environmental characteristics that cause the establishment of a critical environmental area? No. Will the proposed action result in an adverse change in the existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking and walkway? No. Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities? Now, will the proposed action impact existing public-private water supply? Now, public-private wastewater treatment utilities? Now, will the proposed action impair the character quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources? I can't. Will the proposed action result in an adverse change to natural resources, e.g. wetlands, water bodies, groundwater, air quality, flow? Will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems? Now, will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health? No.
okay, so all of those were answered no, having it's either no or a small impact. So part 3 is we have to, by motion, determine if this is negative impact or no negative impact on the environment.
Make a motion that there's no negative impact.
Second.
Then, let's see, we should explain how we determine that the impact may or will not be significant. Do we want to add a little sentence there that's
We never do. What would you suggest?
I don't know, in this case, it's a one-day music festival. It's not,
That's worthwhile pointing out, yeah. Okay.
it's not like this is gonna happen every day.
This is a one-day event. Okay, so we have no negative impact, and I supposed to mention this action is an unlisted action, so it's not a class 1 or 2, it's an unlisted action.
We had motion, but we didn't vote.
Oh, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great.
I think you need to start with an original instead of a copy. Of
Yeah,
the
copy. Okay, we need to close the public hearing by motion.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Thank you, Dwight. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So we're up to that point. So everybody has, not everybody, but you two have something to do. You have something to do in regard to this. I have something to do in terms of submitting this information to the county planning board for the referral. And we'll get back here on May 18th. As of right now, you'll be the first one on our agenda for May 18th. Unless, and if anything happens in the meantime, just delay getting back together for another month, but hopefully we won't have to do that. I know Adam's anxious to get organized.
Just going forward, for previous years, you and I had talked about if we were gonna keep this a yearly thing, if we have to come reapply, like, how's that gonna work?
I think it needs, I had second thoughts about that. I think it needs to be a reapplication, but perhaps, unless major changes, some of this year's documentation can perhaps be used for next year. I don't think we can say it's a recurring event.
For future years, just a recap of how it went the previous year. Is there anything different for next year? All in favor, say what, and it's over.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. Thanks, Adam and Joe. Thank you very much. Yeah,
You got it.
Thanks, Aaron. Good to see you, Matt. I like that. Fix the word.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks, Joe.
Is there anything else? Privilege of the floor. Anything anyone wants to bring up? Have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
Right. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Caroline, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank
The decoration on the envelope.
you. Oh, yeah.
Caroline, can you stop?
That spot.
Personalized. I know you look like you're, when I get the label, you want me, I'll mail them to you? That's the address or not?
No, that's the town hall address. I just drop them at the town hall and then email if you want me to drop them.
Yeah, I'll try to get one today.
Yeah.
I thought at one time I heard that they were only accepting things.
You know, it
electronically.
would be a real special if you could drop at least some return label.
Well, what my label will have.
So I don't mind.
Oh, you return
Oh,
this?
Upstairs. But I just want to be
Spanish
there.
planning board
Right.
address.
Okay.
It'll have
both